The agents come into contact with an artifact that has mysterious writing all over it. Mulder's being affected by the object.
And as Scully seeks answers to what's happening to him, everything she's come to hold dear comes crashing down with one massive revelation.
Not happening. This is not happening.
It's the Zodiac cipher.
Oh, it probably would fit, actually, yeah. They don't get into the code-breaking element of it, which is it's unfortunate, because that would be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like, go to the... I gotta say, I feel like Albert is chronically underused in this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
They wheel him around, literally.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of Albert hosting, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Spoilers.
You telling me he doesn't survive?
He doesn't make it out of the show. No, he does not.
Oh no, Albert.
Poor Albert.
Good one, though. Excellent episode. We'll get that out of the way right up front. We're going to be talking about Biogenesis, episode 22, the finale, as it were.
Finale! We're here!
We finally made it.
I can't fucking
Could you
believe
imagine?
it.
No.
6 short months ago.
This is the first season finale that was not directed by R.W. Goodwin.
Mm-hmm.
Big shoes to fill here by Rob Bowman.
But who better to do it, right? You got, Kim Manners could do it too, but Rob Bowman, he just did the movie. Let's give him season 6 finale.
If he can't do it, who can? Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of movie type shots in this one.
Oh yeah.
There are a couple that stand out as a bit odd, but don't break the episode anyway.
No.
Any special notes you want to bring up about this one beforehand, before we get rolling? Other than it was written by Carter and Spotnitz, so, I mean, clearly going to be a spot-on script. Would you call this a mythology episode?
Essentially, it has to be. It's the beginning of the next phase, I guess.
Okay.
The artifact does come back in some capacity in the latter half of the show. Yeah, I would just sink down and say, yeah, this is mythology. It's
mythology 2.0.
The first part of non-syndicate mythology, I would say.
Although we do have the cigarette smoking ban.
We do. But
one.
now it's the CSM game. This is his show now. So
okay.
We're at the mercy of whatever the fuck he wants to do from the rest of the show. So
he's going to smoke a lot in this one. He doesn't have any actual lines. So
yeah,
could be anything. And Alex Gretchek shows up again. I mean, all of our favorite people are here.
Yeah.
I just need Marita Covarrubias to show up, and then we got a trifecta.
Yeah. But we get what's her face?
Say her name. Say her name.
Fowley.
There you go.
I don't know why that escaped me. maybe because everyone hates her. It's just seeping in.
Yeah, that's fair.
Forget her.
Don't worry about her. Okay. Are you ready? Is it time to begin Biogenesis?
Let's get the genesis of this episode going here.
You can't pun with the thing.
It's too bad. You do it all the time.
I do.
Go.
All right. We open, Mike, with a view of planet Earth and a voiceover monologue from Scully.
Wait.
No.
Earth is flat. What the hell is this?
It's a flat view of Earth.
No. Stopping the show. We're done.
Okay.
X-Files has lost me forever.
Oh, wow. That's a bold statement. Okay. It is an artist rendering of a 3-dimensional version of flat Earth.
Yeah.
Does that follow? Does that track?
That's fine. Yeah.
They're
definitely taking some liberties.
They are. Flat earther, eh? That's a raw choice for you.
Whatever, man.
Do you want me to actually keep going, or do you want to devolve
keep
into
going? Let's give them all season 6 while I contemplate if we're going to do season 7 or not.
Okay, I mean might be more Earth shots in season 7.
All right.
Okay. Scully reflects on the origins of life on Earth. As we see scenes of the evolution of life on the planet, Scully speaks of primordial conditions, single-celled organisms, and the slow march of evolution. Her tone is reverent as she ponders the interconnectedness of all life and the fragility of existence. She warns of the possibility that we may be facing a sixth extinction, one brought not by natural disaster, but by the discovery of something that challenges our understanding of biology, religion, and ourselves. We have an obvious reuse of footage from the movie, but they paid a lot of money for that, so let's get some value out of it. As we see two cavemen barging across a frozen landscape.
I was wondering if you're going to catch that.
Yeah, we gotta catch that. As she finishes her monologue, the scene shifts to Côte d'Ivoire, West Africa. With waves crashing against the shore, a man stands, yelling for attention. He has found something in the surf. A small metal object covered in intricate writing, shimmering in the sunlight. Credits.
Oh boy. What is going to happen, Andrew?
I gotta admit, I was not blown away by the actual non-monologue open, because it's like the thing that he discovered is not, to me, all that exciting.
Right.
It kind of looks like, guys, I found part of an old microwave oven sticking out of the surf here.
It's like the corner of a shipping container that was dropped off a frigate.
It's a candy bar wrapper.
Hershey's.
What is this bottle thing I see here? No, that's the gods must be crazy. No, it feels like it should be bigger.
You feel like the opening should continue rather than just having the stock footage and the monologue. You want it to continue on after that. I get what you're saying.
No, actually, it is literally about the size of the discovery. It looks like this.
Oh, the size of it. Okay.
This tiny little thing. And it's like, A, how did you find it? B, why is it so crazy exciting to see? Because it is literally like the size of a candy bar. I could have done with it.
Maybe a Toblerone.
If it's Toblerone, I could see why you'd be excited. Guys, I found it. It's in the wrapper.
It's triangle shaped.
Yeah.
I hope it tastes like orange.
I hope it's not, soaked and salty because it's been in the
soaked and surf. Salty. Well, it could be sea salt. They've got that kind of stuff.
Could be nice. Could be nice. I could also do without the monologue, to be fair. But I know that why they have it, because it's a cliffhanger. They need to elevate it to be high stakes.
What do you think of them giving it to Scully? I mean, obviously, I know why they did it, because she's the one who makes it out of the episode with the ability to talk.
With sanity, yeah. I think that's totally why. Like, this is her story of revelation. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. Also, I think they've done it before with Mulder so many times that it would be rote at this point. Yeah, but no, for me, it's just like we have this scene where a dude finds something sort of functionally irrelevant, but calls people over to see it. So for me, make it like the size of a iPad, and I'm good. Right. Because now it's like, okay, there's a thing and it looks a little bit more imposing. This just looks like, somebody's trash.
I gotcha. He calls them over a little too quick, because I think the size of it is a little bit bigger when he pulls it out. It's not huge, but I think he was a little too excited before he even had dug it out of the sea.
Yeah, it's
so I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Preemptive excitement.
And then we're straight to credits, and I'm like, okay, I get that the thing is exciting, but it feels like the writers think it's exciting and are trying to make us excited about it. And that did
absolutely they are, because they didn't to go back to what I was just saying. They didn't continue the opening after the monologue and the stock footage. So they want us to focus on this one thing and be like, okay, so this must be huge, revelatory, even though we don't know what it is yet. So they definitely wanted us to focus on that.
Maybe what they should have done was, I'll just continue the scene, because after the credits, we continue our scene in West Africa. Mm-hmm. And word of the discovery on the beach has reached a man sitting at the desk, a local professor, Solomon McMullen, and he rushes over to see what all the fuss is about. He recognizes the symbols on the strange metal object and watches in awe. Here is where you cut to credits.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
You know,
So
because,
after the guy who's a scholar
yeah,
makes a big deal about it. I gotcha.
yeah, and because I think they couldn't then cut it later because we're about to have 3 minutes of him in his office, and the pieces are going to do the funny thing, and he's going to call to get help. But that's too long then to go before having your credits. So I think it's weird that we immediately continue the scene, and the professor comes over and is all like, "Oh my goodness," and it's that's where you have it. So it's just weird that they did it there.
Good stuff.
It's a horrible episode and I hate it. Okay, going on.
It's fucking terrible.
Later on, he's in his office, fragment on his desk. He opens a cabinet and produces a leather-bound object. Unwrapping it, we see it is a similar fragment. He holds the two pieces up and examines them. Suddenly, like magnets, the two pieces slam together and fly out of his hands, where they impale a Bible which was minding its own business on the bookshelf. Returning the now fused together piece to his desktop, the mysterious artifact begins to rotate faster and faster. McMillan stops these shenanigans and puts the piece back in the leather, makes an international call to the only place you can get decent help in situations like this, the United States of America. And we get a close-up of a quote from Genesis, part 128, which, is going to be thematically appropriate, I suppose.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So what do you make of all of this? Like, this is totally new canon they're writing here. Right? These pieces have come out of nowhere. I'm pretty sure.
They have to take the show somewhere, so they're going big with this. And I can't blame them for it. I mean, they have to continue the show, and they've already put more work into it than they had originally planned with season 6. But, I think they have to go and pick a lane where, okay, we dealt with the aliens. We knew they were there. We know they're there now. The syndicate's gone.
Yeah.
What is going to happen now? Well, now the basis of humanity is going to be called into question. And, the fragment darts off and slices through the Bible. Okay. What is that interpretive of? Yeah, exactly. So we're getting kind of the shredding of Scully's belief system in this episode. So,
quick question. What would it be like if you had your finger in between those two objects when they connected?
You would be fused with it from now on. It wouldn't slice it off. Wouldn't slice it off.
Yeah.
It would be much like
safety feature.
Yeah, much like Dreamland. You would be fused with the rock.
Ooh, gross.
Yeah. Just be glad you weren't kissing it. I'm sorry.
I wonder what these two pieces feel like rubbed up against my... Okay, moving on.
Oh! And he never had sex ever again. No. It's triangle shaped.
Yeah. All right, we switch our scene to American University in Washington, D.C. I bet that there is a university called American University.
Most likely. I'll look it up while you go.
Please look it up. I think it's a poor choice. I feel like there could have been other universities that they decided to choose. America, absolutely.
Yep, American University, D.C.
Are there other universities in Washington they could have chosen? Rutgers? That's probably New York.
No.
Sandusky? I don't know.
No. I don't even know.
Don't even care. We're here. Professor McMillan has traveled to the USA to visit Dr. Sandoz to discuss the mysterious artifact. McMillan is greeted by a man he assumes is Sandoz, and their conversation begins cautiously, with caged monkeys behaving anxiously in the background. McMillan shows the man his piece of the artifact, hoping they would match the piece, quote, Dr. Sandoz, unquote, found. When Sandoz asks if McMillan has had any luck reading it, the camera pulls close to McMillan as he has his realization that this is not Dr. Sandoz. The monkeys go crazy as the Dr. Sandoz imposter lunges at McMillan, and off camera we hear the sounds of a fight. Outside, the real Dr. Sandoz arrives, attracted by the sound of wild monkeys, and we see that McMillan is now dead, and the artifact has disappeared. Oh, wait, no, we don't see McMillan is dead. We see some blood. That must be it. Yeah, because McMillan's missing.
Yeah.
I just assumed. You know what it is? Okay, so I did an experiment. I was like, hey, ChatGPT, can you write up a summary of this episode?
Oh, here we go.
And it
Lay it out.
failed. It failed completely.
It failed.
Yeah, it like kind of got the broad strokes, but it hallucinated and just made stuff up. And
Really?
so I was like, okay, I'm going to just cut like all of this stuff, but I can edit up to these points because it looks fine. And here's a leftover. It thought that McMullen was dead. In fact, it said he was decapitated. He does become decapitated.
Yeah.
But his body is officially missing at this point. So here's a lesson to you, college students. Don't use ChatGPT for anything like this.
Right.
Or proofread your work better.
So did you feel like a reminiscing of season 1 Erlenmeyer Flask with the monkeys in the cages and the doctors getting killed?
I didn't even think of that, but yes, that is totally a holdback. Interesting. Clearly the artifact has some significance because the monkeys see it as important.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose
Maddie asks, how do the monkeys know what it says?
Well, they're smarter than us, clearly.
Monkeys can read.
Monkeys are very religious. They know,
Absolutely.
They know stuff. Yeah.
They're more than just bananas.
They have a variety of interests.
I see them often with pipes and monocles.
Listen, the 40,000
wild,
of those
anyway.
typewriters, they got interests. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
FBI headquarters, Skinner's office. Skinner is assigning the murder. No, see, it still thinks it's the murder. It's not
Assigning the murderer.
the murder. So it thought that there was a murder, but it's a disappearance. So no, it's because, okay, I get it. It's just, it's not using enough words.
So I have a question. Did you actually write notes, or is this all ChatGPT?
No,
Which is fine. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm not holding it against you.
I should have had a side by side, because eventually what's going to happen is I just stopped. Like I just cut everything. And
Forget it.
I'm doing it my way because this is bad. I should have had a side by side of what the episode, it thinks the episode happens, and what I know happened. So there is an assumption that Solomon has been killed because of all the blood on the scene, but the body has disappeared. So he is assigning the case to Mulder and Scully.
Flew in yesterday from Africa. 2 hours later, he was apparently murdered at American University. His body is missing, but there was enough blood found on the floor to make a fair assumption. A couple of students also confirmed that they spoke to him when he asked them for directions to find a Dr. Stephen Sandoz, also a professor of biology.
Both men espouse a fringe theory called panspermia. It's a belief that life originated
elsewhere in this universe.
You've heard of this?
Yeah, it's the idea that Mars or other planets were habitable long before Earth, and that cosmic collisions on these planets blasted microbes into our solar system, some of which landed and flourished here.
And you'd accept that as plausible?
Well, almost any scientist would, theoretically. I mean, it's just a theory. That's about it, though. You don't think this has anything to do with his death, do you?
Dr. McMullen found an artifact in his country. This is a rubbing of that artifact. He claimed it contained a message, not only of his Mars theories, but the very meaning of human existence.
Much less plausible.
Dr. Sandoz, the man he'd come to meet, made a similar claim in a science journal. He said he'd found a artifact that was almost identical to that with similar writings on it.
And what was it supposed to say?
Well, we'd have to ask Dr. Sandoz that.
Well, why don't we?
We can't. He's missing.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
They missed quite the opportunity.
What's that?
Skinner should have just taken the opportunity to pull one over on them and hand Scully the Jackie Treehorn pencil rubbing from the Big Lebowski.
That was a good one.
Oh, man. But he didn't do it. He
didn't
missed
do
his
it,
opportunity.
No, that would have been a great gag, though. They probably had that in the gag reel. You're going to laugh for 10 minutes now on that, aren't you?
No, we're good. We're good.
In the elevator, Mulder and Scully go over the case. Scully notes that this is clearly just a police matter, at best, while Mulder examines the rubbing in more detail. As he does so, a ringing fills the scene, and Mulder is, to put it best, out of it. He's not hearing Sculler. That's a classic. Haven't done a Sculler in a while.
You haven't done Sculder or Mully?
Sculder and Mully, yeah. He's not hearing Scully, and everything is foggy. Scully is going on about Scully things, and eventually he gets out of it, and she says, "Did you hear a word of what I just said?" And he says, "No, I couldn't hear it."
At least he's
Lovely
honest.
double entendre, I couldn't hear it.
he just pretends the rest of the episode to. Yeah, I totally remember you saying this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I should totally go to the doctors. I will definitely do that. As he leaves, Scully asks the question we've all been asking, kind of subtly. The conspiracy is unmasked and destroyed, the men behind it dead. What more is there? You've won. And he says his sister. And there it is, folks. The answer that began all of this stuff. And to my mind, what should have been the direction of this plot, because that is a very long hanging thread that hasn't gone anywhere. We've seen the clones, we've seen allusions, little baby Samanthas, but we have not yet had the Samantha of his dreams, the return of his sister. So yes, I get they want to have something big with the alien astronauts, but I think that should have been where the plot went because it's more human.
Fair enough. Absolutely.
Discuss.
And I would kind of agree with that. Well, I'm definitely okay with the alien stuff.
Oh, sure. It's good stuff.
And the expansion of it is fine with me.
Yep, me too.
The wrapping up of Samantha's story feels abrupt in season 7. So
yeah.
I would totally agree. Like, if this is the moment where he's like, okay, we're going to really dive into what the fuck happened. Because you can still do a lot with that because of the syndicate that was. And this, CSM's still alive. So there could be still some mystery there. But
they went another way. Yep. Well, we return to American University for the agents to examine the crime scene. We are treated to the probable weapon, and Scully gets the facts from the cop on the scene. Mulder speaks with Dr. Barnes, head of the department, and the man we've seen as the murderer. Dr. Sandoz is missing, and the likely suspect, Dr. Barnes, suggests Sandoz would do anything to advance his reputation. Scully presents Barnes with the rubbing of the artifact, and again, Mulder experiences another episode. And he leaves, rubbing his temple.
There's a lot of temple rubbing in the end of this season.
Yeah, we just had some in Field Trip, some temple rubbing, and now we're going to have some here. Barnes continues to suggest that Sandoz and his crazy ideas are bad for the whole field of science. Cut to Mulder splashing water in his face as Scully comes and finds him. He reports his symptoms and suggests it's related to the rubbing. Scully is skeptical as we go to commercial. Commercial for temple cream,
Has an alien artifact entered your life and caused havoc with your head?
Are headaches preventing you from solving international conspiracies and alien abductions?
Do your headaches make you forget that your sister's been missing for 23 years?
Have you rubbed your temples so much that you have drilled through your skull to your brain?
Are you experiencing residual hallucinogenic properties from the previous episode?
Try Gold's Temple Cream. One application will stop your temple rubbing with our proven bog goo.
Bog goo.
Bog slime.
Is it just me, or is the video quality in this episode constantly changing?
I noticed that. I'm wondering if it's a transcoding thing from the video to digital.
I think it is,
because it's okay on a CRT.
Half the episode looks like it was shot in 1998 and the other half looks good.
Could have been using an old camera. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there are moments in the show and other shows where it's like they couldn't get the transfer correct for this one scene. And it's just, we're back in 1995.
I remember HD was still just nascent at this point. Like, I guess I'm gonna give an assignment.
A thing in this moment.
No, I'm giving an assignment to Field Researcher Brand to tell us when HD was fully implemented, and we were watching X-Files in HD.
2008.
2008? No.
Yeah. HD? Oh, yeah. 2008.
Well, they were shooting it in widescreen. I think that was after season 4. They started doing widescreen. I could be wrong.
Well,
all right. Well, I'll
HD as we know it became a household thing in the mid to late aughts. And this episode is 1999.
Well, I guess they were shooting film for a long time. Did they ever switch to shooting just on digital?
Yeah, no, this was all film.
Well, Brand reports back the adoption of standards. First HD broadcast started in the 90s.
But what do we consider HD? Because you can tell, like, if you were to go back and pick a show, let's just say Survivor, for people who watch Survivor, it's been on forever, and you watch the first however many seasons, you're going to see from one season to the next what has become digital film, digital high definition viewing. It is jarring if you go from one season to the next, but you will see it. I'm pretty positive that what we know as HD today started in like 2008, maybe 2007, but.
Well, I think I'm definitely out on a limb here because they, as Conrad points out, they shot everything on film, and then the transfers were what we had to deal with. So early on, if you were watching on DVD, you were watching the 4:3 because that's just what they had, and then they remastered it to go into a widescrreen. I forget why I went down that rabbit hole, but a rabbit hole it was. Here we are. We're back from commercial, probably for, TV adapters. And we're treated to a return guest artist. It's Chuck, bringing his crazy theories with him. Chuck is fascinated by the association Mulder has with the rubbing. Scully drops the bomb. The rubbing is a fake. And Chuck verifies that the writing doesn't make any sense. Chuck goes on to a tangent concerning the magic square that really doesn't add much, except to say that the theory goes the writing contains a power related to a specific person in a quadrant, and yada, yada, yada. Scully goes further on the debunking train by providing a scholarly article debunking Sando's previous claims. It's written by Dr. Barnes, who has made a career discrediting these kinds of finds, science, and religious fraud. Mulder counters that Barnes might be hiding something he can't disprove with his scholarship, and counters that the rock could be from outer space. And as Chuck puts the rubbing up on the screen, Mulder experiences another episode, leaving the room with Scully. There's a hell of a scene, and I know you probably got things to say about Chuck, so I'm going to give you some space to do that.
Well, no, I'm listening to the description of the scene, and I'm always, happy to see Chuck Burke back. He is, I wish they utilized him a little bit more than they do.
Yeah.
But I think he does show up for the big weirdo events in the show.
Yes.
And this definitely qualifies. I mean, the last time we see him, I think, is in season 8. But good time. He's a good time. Always happy to see him.
Yeah. He's a little bit more useful in some cases than the lone gunman. And probably cheaper, to bring one guy in as opposed to all three of those guys.
He's like the lone gunman who made it through college. Not to say they're stupid, but he's got a degree of some sort. He's working for the FBI.
Well, it's right. He's legit in a way that the lone gunman can't be. So they bring them in for very specific things.
Yeah.
Well, Scully, the wet blanket, wants Mulder to visit the hospital to be checked out. But of course, he insists he's fine, and he uses his supernatural abilities to advance the plot.
Be at home in bed.
Not going home to bed, Scully. I think I know what's causing this. I know what happened to those 2 professors in that artifact. I had a sense of it yesterday when I met that man Barnes.
You had a sense of it?
Yes, this man Solomon McMarlin is dead. Barnes knows it. He killed him. Killed him in that lab.
Well, I hope you're not going to suggest that we arrest him on that rather baseless assumption.
No, I'm not. Not until after I show you what he did with the body.
Ooh, there's a lead up. So, Mulder's got telepathy? Is that what we are meant to take away from this?
Not yet.
I got a sense of it when I was with him yesterday.
Yeah. It's definitely dabbling in that, yes.
I just like that it's...
I mean, people say that all the time, so it's not immediately off-putting, right? So it's like, okay, maybe he just means it in passing. I got a sense of something. But then as we come to find out, things are happening.
I do like that I don't think the writers knew what to do with the power that he's getting at this point. Like it's a useful tool to bridge this scene to where they want to go next. It's like they need to find McMallen and then up the stakes that Sandoz is perhaps the guilty party. And it's like, how do you get to the dead body? What is the cool way to get to the dead body? I mean, they could just have him show up in a dumpster. Right. but no, they decide they're going to have him. I had a feeling from Barnes that he killed him and stuck him in, a garbage can. Let's go find that.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a neat touch, but I feel like it's a bit of a shortcut. It's like
I have my thoughts on that coming up. It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/MagusMedia, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support.
So the two agents leave. They go to the Sandoz residence. The landlord lets them in. He's a colorful character, insisting that no one, including the cops, found anything out of the ordinary. Sandoz turns out to be a regular traveler to New Mexico, where Scully finds a photo of Dr. Sandoz with Albert Holstein.
Oh my God.
Mulder makes good on his prediction of finding a body, going into the kitchen and tracking down the garbage. We're treated to a gory, fly-laden treat, the head of Solomon McMallen. So I know you got some things to say. I will say I find it hard to believe that they overlooked looking in the garbage.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think they, as FBI agents and other law enforcement, they should have probably checked that out, especially because of the smell.
That's a bit of a miss, I think.
Yeah. And a little too convenient that the agents, oh, hey, they're the ones to find.
Yeah, what's that smell? Probably nothing.
It's nothing. Just let's focus on
the other thing I absolutely adore about this scene is the cowboy hat on the bedpost. I don't know if you caught that.
I did.
I just have this vision of bow tie wearing Dr. Sandoz wearing that hat, and it gives me a bit of a smile.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Well, it's only Washington.
It's only Washington. It's the heart of America. They don't know what they're doing. Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah, maybe they do. Who knows? Well, the agents regroup with Skinner. We get the following bullet points from their meeting. Number 1, Mulder thinks that Sandoz is being framed for the murder, is in hiding, and that Dr. Barnes is the killer. Bullet point 2, Sandoz knows that he has a valuable item, his piece of the artifact. Point number 3, the body of McMallen had many pieces removed, pieces that Mulder thinks would retain traces of radiation, which leads to point number 4, Scully ran a test which found traces of cosmic galactic radiation, which is only found in outer space.
Oh boy.
So that's a coincidence.
That's a coincidence. Yes, it's very coincidental. I like the redundant name of it, Cosmic Galactic. It's good stuff.
Radiation? Yeah. I wager that it's a real thing and they just couldn't get around it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. I doubt they made that up. Mulder then asks Skinner if there's someone else on this case, which turns into an accusation, which Skinner doesn't actually deny. Scully shuffles Mulder out of Skinner's office before he can ruin his career further. Despite Scully's protestations that Mulder needs to see a doctor, Mulder remains determined to ignore her medical advice and wants to continue the search for Sandoz and his missing artifact.
The consistency is there.
What's that?
He's doing the same thing he did in Demons. Mulder, you're seizing. You're seizing. No, I must investigate further.
Yeah. You're just a doctor. What do you know about me going to the hospital? Screw you. I'm going to fight.
Go get checked out. What the hell?
I am going to ignore these symptoms and just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm a hero. Well, Skinner watches him leave, then returns to collect a tape from a hidden camera, which has recorded the meeting with Mulder and Scully. Someone enters. It's Alex Krycek. And Skinner hands him the tape.
He doesn't hand it to him.
Oh, he slides it over on the table. Okay.
Slams it. Get the fuck out of my office.
Here you go. Fine. And Skinner's not too happy about it. as we cut to commercial. Field researcher Brand has given us some information about galactic cosmic rays are the slowly varying, highly energetic background source of energetic particles that constantly bombard the Earth. Checks out.
Good stuff. He's doing his homework today.
He sure is. He knows how to internet pretty good.
Very much so.
I thought it was worth vibing briefly on the wonderful machines that Skinner has in his office. Do you remember the one I am going to reference?
No. What do you
Think
mean?
back. Skinner has a machine in his office that has a very specific purpose.
A machine.
Yeah.
Not the video camera, right?
No, not the video camera. Think back to season 2.
I don't know.
You have no idea? Okay.
Oh, the cigarette packing machine that we made?
That's the one.
Okay. I thought you meant he actually had something in his office. I'm like going back trying to look for it.
No, It is the machine which allows you to create a pack of cigarettes that have a magic message inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's got that and a secret camera.
Secret camera, yep.
And I'm sure we're going to have, before we're out of this show, a third machine in Skinner's office.
What could that be? Oh, man, I missed the cigarette packing machine. That was a good episode.
That was a good throw right there, yeah.
that was a good time. What happened to that Skinner, man? He doesn't do that anymore.
They're trying to make him sneaky, though, right? Now that we got Alex Krycek on his back, you know,
it was just a fucking camera in a cabinet. Everyone's got one of those.
And frankly, what is the value of that meeting?
What? Alex Krycek's like, now I've got you by the balls. It's just Skinner having a routine meeting with the agents.
Like they they discuss the cosmic galactic radiation, I suppose, which is important. But anyway, look at him. He's just being Krycek's bitch, and that's the big throw here.
But he has to be, remember?
He does. His life depends on it.
Yep.
We're going to cut now to Gallup, New Mexico, as Scully goes to visit Albert Holstein, who is in hospital. She finds a copy of the rubbing in his room, but this time, on the back, she sees what appears to be a translation. Mike, it's a passage from the Bible. Genesis, book 1, passage 28. I think that's how you read it. It's been a while. Genesis 1:28. A nurse finds Scully, who asks what's wrong with Albert. I guess I should say that Scully asks the nurse what's wrong with Albert. That was not a great sentence.
That's okay.
And the nurse gives her a bit of guff, but Scully flashes her badge and says, I'm sure Albert wouldn't mind telling me. And then the nurse completely breaks the doctor-patient's confidentiality and reveals that Albert has cancer and is dying.
Oh, poor Albert.
They're not wrong. I mean, that's kind of like...
No. She totally gets fired.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't call a phone. If you get a message, it's like, hey, please leave a message. You cannot give any identifying information other than, hey, this is who I'm looking for and this is who I am. You can't say, hey, I got your test results back and list them off for whoever may be listening in. So she's breaking some laws here.
You get stage 4 terminal thumb cancer.
If you need any, explanation or, I've told you everything. You've got cancer, so you're good to go. You don't even need to call back. But if you need
to, because you can call me at 555-02 beep.
Oh, good stuff.
Well, we're back at American University now with Dr. Barnes walking away from his office while Mulder, dressed casually to fit in with the university crowd, sneaks in and rifles through Barnes' stuff. He hears Barnes returning, which is a bit odd. Like, you leave your office for like 2 minutes and then just turn around. I guess you maybe forgot something. I don't know. It's a slick thing. He cuts back to, we cut back to Barnes re-entering his office, but Mulder is nowhere to be found. Barnes quickly figures out that his office has been rifled through, and he heads to the monkey lab. That's where Mulder is hiding, waiting for Barnes to walk through. Mulder is then struck by a pain in his head like he's experienced before, but this time, Mike, it is much more intense.
Oh, yeah.
Barnes leaves the lab, and Mulder follows him down the hall filled with students. Everyone's looking at Mulder, who is in obvious pain. Is Barnes carrying the artifact with him? Mulder's in pain just to follow, eventually crawling on his hands and knees up a stairwell in pursuit. But then he succumbs to the pain and falls over.
No,
Good for
Mulder.
Mulder.
How did he get out of that office?
He used his superpower.
How dare you?
Well, you did set it up for me. He did the classic thing where when Barnes opened the door, he was behind it, and then Barnes walked by, and then Mulder scooped out the door. That's what
He's just hiding in the filing cabinet. You see his head poke out of the top drawer.
he hid in the trash can. He took a page out of McMullen's book.
Yes. Apparently trash cans are a good hiding spot.
If you cut your body up, you can fit very well in there. Back in New Mexico, Albert is returned to his room, but he does not look so good. Scully sees Dr. Sandoz, who sees Scully, and the good doctor takes off. Foot chase. Mark Snow cranks out the piano and strings and generally spooky music as Scully chases after him, eventually holding him at gunpoint in a stairwell. Now, I should point out, there's a camera shot. I don't know if you caught it.
Yeah.
The slow fade in to, well, not fade, but the slow push into Scully, or is she advancing towards the camera? I can't remember it exactly, but
she's kind of both. She's coming towards the camera and just
yeah,
it's as close as we're ever going to get.
And we're eventually looking up her nose. Basically, it's so close, and I'm not sure of the point of that shot.
They're doing that a lot in this episode. Not a lot, a couple times. But for lengthy periods of time. Like, that's not a short scene of her being close to the camera. And when Mulder's first experiencing the aural dissonance or whatever, she's looking straight at the camera at a fairly close distance. And it's utilized well there. A little bit confusing here. In the elevator with Mulder, it's like,
she's looking at him. I totally buy that.
She's looking at him, and he's... It's a little distorted, his reality is being a little warped, and it makes sense there. Here, it's just a little strange.
The only thing I can think of, and I don't think it was executed well, is I think in the next scene when Sandoz is in the stairwell, there's an alarm ringing because it's like a security door. So I think, and again, it's the only thing that makes sense to me, she's hearing that in the distance. But what we needed was a sound of that alarm that we're hearing her hear. But I don't think we got it. So it just felt strange to me.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, she's holding him at gunpoint, but she lowers her gun, telling him that she needs answers. Meanwhile, Mulder continues to lie in pain in the stairwell when Alex Krycek pays him a visit. He steps over Mulder to continue up the stairs, eventually encountering Dr. Barnes on the roof of the building. Barnes doesn't know Krycek. He says, are you the man on the phone? But Krycek hands him a VCR tape, telling him that they're destined to be great friends. And Mike, is this the tape that he got from Skinner?
Well, yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, I can't imagine it to be anything else. But
porn.
I thought it was a small tape that he got from Skinner, and now he's handing.
No,
it was a big old
VHS tape. Yep.
Okay. So what is the point here?
Just to let him know that the agents are onto him, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so, eh? Yeah.
I mean, he senses someone has been through his office, so he knows something's amiss. Maybe not know who, and now he does, or will.
Okay, I'm there. That makes sense. Well, back in New Mexico, Scully sits with Albert, who is on a respirator and generally not looking so hot. Sandoz gives us some quality exposition.
Albert was the only translator who didn't dismiss me out of hand. When I showed him the original artifact, he sensed immediately its power and importance. Trouble was, it was only one fragment, not enough to read.
But then other pieces surfaced.
Dr. McMullen found 2 more in the tidal shallows. He sent me a rubbing. Suddenly, Albert was able to make a real translation.
A passage from the Bible on an artifact that you're saying is extraterrestrial. And how did the aliens get it?
They gave it to us. The text came from them. I can prove it. It's written here. I'm sure of it. Albert was working to translate another section when his health turned.
And This was going to tell us what?
I don't know yet. Albert said it just seemed to be random letters.
Yep, the old spinny turny metal thing. Did you have?
I like how
on
she
that?
looks. She looks under the desk and sees his hand moving with a magnet. Oh,
It's a trick. Yeah, the artifact sits there, lazily turning, spinning, as we've seen before. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't think we got a chance to speak on that when we had our first introduction to that business of the item turning. Does that mean anything to you?
no.
Make any sense of that?
I think it's just cool.
It's a special
meant
piece
to
of
be
metal.
interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's already spooky. It's already from space and it's already from aliens. So why not have it do something weird? Yeah. They
I like how
don't.
I like how they completely ignore it.
Right.
You know, it's
She puts her hand on it and stops it.
yeah, that's enough out of
about
you.
it. That's
Enough out of you. Stop with your ignoring the laws of physics.
I'm trying to have a conversation here. God.
If Mulder was here, he'd make such a fucking big deal out of this, but he's not, so we're just going to pretend this didn't happen. Okay, we're moving on.
I'm not a huge fan of the spinny stuff
Yeah.
because we already understand that it's a big thing, right? So, okay, we get that it's a revelation. We understand there's something mysterious about this. We don't need it to fly across the room necessarily.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. And that it hits the Bible. I'm like, God, can you be more on the
That's
nose?
Chris Carter. He got his pen on the page for that scene.
Let me tell you what I really think.
No!
Yeah.
Stop! Go get me some coffee.
If it didn't rotate and be a super magnet and fly across the room, I would have been all right with that because the special thing about it is the cosmic galactic radiation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that is enough to make us go, ooh, that's weird. And all the symbols and stuff, that's weird too.
There's so much to it by the end of the episode. It's like, why do we need the spinny?
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah,
we don't.
exactly. It's a bit much. Don't need it. Well, Scully goes to call Mulder, but the phone is answered by a familiar, sultry voice.
God damn it.
Despite clearly having called Mulder on his home phone, she asks where he is. I guess she's thrown by the idea of Mulder having a woman in his apartment.
She's very much thrown.
Yeah, he's home resting, and she brings him up to speed. And I recognize that it's only been about a minute since the last clip, but damn it, this is a good one, so we're going to have it. Here we go.
Oh.
Mulder, this artifact, if I'm to believe what I'm being told about it,
What?
it has a passage on it from Genesis.
Scully, that artifact is extraterrestrial.
Mulder, it can't be.
Did you know what that would mean?
No, it would mean nothing, Mulder.
No, it would mean that our progenitors were alien, that our Genesis was alien, that we're here because of them, that they put us here.
Mulder, that is science fiction. It doesn't hold a drop of water.
You're wrong. It holds everything. Don't you see all the mysteries of science, everything we can't understand or won't explain? Every human behaviorism, cosmology, psychology, everything in the X-Files, it all owes to them. It's from them.
Mulder, I will not accept that. It is just not possible.
Well, then you go ahead and prove me wrong, Scully.
Challenge extended.
Yes, exactly.
Challenge accepted.
What about the obvious it's a fake?
Well, as you know, Mulder doesn't go there.
No, it never goes there.
Not. It doesn't even register on his Mulder radar. So,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest,
I
I'm
love
being
how he
honest.
immediately jumps to it's the answer to everything. You know?
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
This is too much for me. I think they didn't give him specifically. They didn't give Mulder enough of a paper trail. Just to put words
Yeah.
to it.
I like it.
To come to this conclusion that fast. I get that you can draw the line. It's a very, very thin line. They should have started with pieces, like little peppered in things throughout season 6 or something. that may have led him to this point.
But 100%.
The fact that he is beside himself in daziness and like the whole episode, he doesn't know where he is and he's in pain. And as soon as Scully gives him one little piece of information, he sits up in bed and he rattles off that this is everything. This is the truth behind everything. Oh my God, we come from outer space and they put us here.
All the answers to the X-Files. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of different X-Files in there. I've seen the episodes, so no, sir.
Yeah. I'm good with the revelation. I'm just not good with the immediacy of it and how quickly he got there.
It does seem to come out of nowhere, which is my problem with it. And frankly, he is developed as a character, right? Like the whole bit from season 4 or 5 where, they've used him. They've made the hoax to try and discredit him. Like that was an exercise in don't just jump to conclusions, right?
Right.
But he appears to have forgotten all of that. So
it's all gone because the aliens. He found the aliens. They really were there. So now all that means nothing.
Mulder 3.0 is I guess what we've got, or Mulder.
Actually, we're back down to Mulder 1.0 because
back to 1.0.
Mulder 2.0 was season 5 Mulder.
Yeah.
Where he questioned the government only. But
that was so old school. We like this Mulder better, I think, or at least the ratings are better with this Mulder.
Absolutely.
After Mulder has rudely hung up on Scully, Diana Fowley comes in and takes the phone away, makes another call. She reports on Mulder's condition and that she's going to stay until she finds out. She then gets naked and moves back to Mulder's bed for cuddling?
Fuck yeah.
Question mark?
Well, I think it's going to be rape if he's out of it. I don't know.
I know. It's like, what a scene.
Well, I suppose men can be raped too.
I'm sure there's a Fox executive on there who leans over to Chris Gardner and goes, okay, I got a great idea for how to end this scene.
We need a half-naked woman stat.
Mimi, can you just walk over there and take off your top? I think it'll be really dramatic. It'll be really evocative. And go.
Go.
We cut to a smoky boardroom, treated to another character we have not seen for a while, the cigarette-smoking man. Back in action and in the midst of a high-level smoky cabal meeting. We fade to commercial.
I don't know that we needed that either.
No? William B. Davis
doesn't
get to have his 10 seconds of screen time?
I'm not against it. But
it's to answer the question of who is she talking to.
But we know who she's talking to. We already know she's a bad guy.
She could have been calling Alex Strychek. He's been sort of brought up.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, we return to another Scully monologue after the commercial, discussing the Big Bang theory of the creation of the universe. Overlaid in slow motion, Scully and Sandoz accompany Albert as he's taken to a small Native American structure, where we assume he's going to heal the old-fashioned way. Scully's monologue has a secondary meaning, suggesting that maybe Albert could be healed by the same spark that ignited the universe. Sandoz offers that she can stay, but she doesn't feel it's right. She doesn't share their beliefs. She gets a call from Skinner. Mulder's in hospital, and she should come back as soon as possible. Sandoz begs that she shouldn't tell anyone where he is, but unfortunately she's already told Skinner that Sandoz is there in Gallup, New Mexico. So he's basically a dead man.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah. No.
Sandoz.
Yeah.
He's almost a dead man.
Yep. Back in Washington at the hospital, Skinner sees Scully arrive. Mulder is in the psych ward, and Scully's pissed. It took her 3 flights to get there, which appears to be as true today as it was in 1999, and it's a few time zones over, so she's legitimately in a bad mood already. Skinner doesn't know what to do, and we know it's serious, Mike, because he calls her by her first name and holds her hand. I mean,
Dana.
Boundaries?
Well, my boss holds my hand all the time.
I knew you were going to go there.
I ask him not to, but
Yeah.
But he always says something huge when he does it.
Well, it does make it weighty, for sure. We brace for the worst as we see Mulder over the CCTV in the rubber room. Diana Fowley is there. Mulder weaves, screams, shouts at the camera. The doctors don't know what to do with him. He's extremely violent. They've given him sedatives, and he should be in a barbiturate coma, but he's still walking around. Parts of his brain are being activated that shouldn't be. Fally wants a private word, and the three go into the hall.
The case has nothing to do with what's happened to him.
Agent Scully says it does. Now, you know my background, my previous work on the X-Files. If I can help on this case.
The X-File here is a fraud. Scully has ample proof of that. Evidence authenticated by a scholar and authority.
I never sent you that report.
Anyway, the case is being resolved.
Not as far as it affects Agent Mulder. If you know what's happening, why won't you tell me?
Why were you with him last night?
He called me. I found him in a university stairwell. He could barely speak. He said I was the only one who'd believe him. About an artifact.
You're a liar.
Scully.
You're both liars.
And she walks away, leaving them looking both particularly guilty. Mike, that's my favorite scene of the episode.
Why is that?
Because it's Scully just being like calling you out as a liar.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
love it.
Good stuff. Tasty.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Yeah, I didn't believe Diana Foley's explanation at all. If he was in so much pain, why would he call anyone, or would he be able to call anyone?
Why wouldn't he be calling Scully?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't believe he would go to Fally. Yeah,
just out of nowhere.
Bullshit. Yeah, and then Skinner having that information,
slipping up
Scully's report. I mean, I never sent you that report. Policy
Who
for
is
her
he
just
working for?
Who are you working for?
Skinner. You can't be a bad guy again.
Oh, yes, he can. That's where we love him.
No.
He's right in that gray zone.
If that gets us back to cigarette machine Skinner, then I will accept it. And I love it.
I love it too. Okay, we're getting to the end here, so bear with. We return to New Mexico, where Albert's healing ceremony continues. Chanting, rattles being played around a campfire in the stone structure. Sandoz decides to get some air, leaving. Back in Mulder's office, Scully looks around, searching for a bug. She sees a smoke detector on the ceiling. Was it there before? We see through a hidden camera in the smoke detector that she's right. She climbs up to get a closer look, getting closer, when the phone rings, drawing her away. It's Dr. Sandoz. He's realized something. The symbols on the artifact, it's not a message. They're symbols, a code, the code for the human genome. If only he could find more pieces. Scully is shocked, taking it all in. The horses near Sandoz are startled, and over the phone, Scully hears a gunshot. In New Mexico, a gloved hand picks up Sandoz's phone, and we assume his piece of the artifact. We fade out from New Mexico to the Côte d'Ivoire. Scully has racked up some serious air miles as she visits with the black men of the coast who are examining the rubbing. They've found another piece? ? It's the same, says one man. They're afraid. I will take you. And so the two walk down the waves of the beach, past some rock formations, and the man points out what he's found to Scully, a large piece of metal covered in sand and water. She's stunned, and the camera pulls back, giving us a very cinematic shot, thank you, Rob Bowman, overhead of her as we see what the metal is connected to, an alien spacecraft submerged in the beach. We get a surging crescendo from Mark Snow as we fade black. To be continued.
Oh my God.
Whoa. She wants to believe.
Intense.
Mike, lay it on me. Give me your final thoughts.
It's a good episode. I enjoy this one. As Matt Conrad in chat would say, I think, he chose to believe that Field Trip was the end of the mythology, so that nothing after that would really matter. I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but this is the moment where obviously they had to pivot somewhere because the syndicate's gone. So I'm okay with aspects of this episode, and I'm not okay with other aspects. As I've stated to you previously, many, many decades ago when we were doing other seasons.
Decades, yes.
the show starts to lose me a little bit when our heroes become supernatural.
Mm.
And I know it's not over the top in this episode, so I definitely don't draw a lot of negativity from this episode. But the idea that Mulder is now becoming telepathic for some reason, it gets a little weird. It's the beginning of some weirdness that the show takes with the quote unquote mythology episodes, culminating in the fucking abysmal stuff that's in season 9. But overall, the episode's good. I enjoy it. There's a lot of intrigue. We get to see some characters we haven't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the episode, I am intrigued to see where they're going to take it, despite my misgivings about what's happening to Mulder. I like the revelation. I'm good with the show going there. You know, we were put here by aliens, essentially. That's fine with me. I'm not adverse to that. So, yeah, overall, good episode.
Yeah. I mean, we're back to flirting with mythology. Like, they certainly want to, as you say, they want to start something new. Got to be starting something. Mm-hmm. It's with a virtuous purpose. Like, Mulder sets it up that the reason he's still going is because he's still searching for his sister. And we haven't had a reasonable conclusion to that plot arc, but we're not going to go there. It sort of feels like maybe we might go there, but no, the episode has other plans for Mulder.
Mm-hmm.
Rather, the pieces of this artifact suggest that aliens descended to Earth and provided us with our genetic makeup and our religion. It's interesting. That could have gotten Chris Carter and the crew into hot water. There could have been a lot of angry letters about the aliens providing us with Genesis. But they didn't really shout the idea too loudly, and it's nuanced well enough. It's still just a theory. So I think that's why nobody kind of went crazy. I agree. I think it's interesting.
Southern Baptists burned Fox down.
Yeah, they said we're pulling our advertising. There weren't any extremely overt things which drew me out of my suspension of disbelief. So good job, episode. I mean, I guess we're all just going to be wondering how this resolves. Is this alien craft a proof that will officially blow Scully's mind? Will Mulder remain indefinitely insane? Why is Alex Krycek lurking around? Will Skinner escape from Krycek's power? Will Fowley have more sex with Mulder? Tune in to season 7, where we will get very few answers to these questions.
Whoa. How do you know that?
I just have a feeling.
Okay.
If this series has taught me anything, is that they ask a lot of questions and give you very few answers.
Very few answers. Good stuff. Well, did we have any listener comments?
We do. We have one from Matt Conrad, where he says, Biogenesis is whatever. Mythology at this point in the series doesn't thrill or offend me. It's when they get into the Williams stuff that turns me off. 100% agree.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? I always say I can't wait. I can wait for that. I'm okay with being stuck in season 7 and 8.
Well, at least we get new characters, right? We get Doggett, we get Keys.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm so looking forward to Doggett.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to season 7. I really like season 7.
Yep.
If we could just skip to season 8, I'd do it right now.
Well, you and I, man, we can agree to just skip season 7 if you want.
No, I can't do it.
Can't do it. Well, I think that's the episode. Unless you've got anything else you want to say about it.
No, I just want to thank everyone for showing up, everyone for listening.
Got a good crew tonight.
We will definitely be doing top 3, bottom 3.
And that means I got to get off my butt and put a poll on the old syndicate group there.
Yeah, we're going to be putting up a poll on Facebook. And I would say give it at least, do you want to do 2 weeks from now, or do you want to do it a little bit longer?
Oh, I can do 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will stay on schedule for that one. And, after the top 3, bottom 3, we will be starting season 7.
I am so looking forward to season 8. It's going to be great.
No, season 7.
No, season 8. It's going to be fantastic. That's going to be a real riot. We get straight into Doggett episodes. We don't have to do 7.
No, we have to do 7. There's some good shit there.
Just think about it. Just think. I'll
think
X-Cops is 7.
Fuck yeah.
All right, you're right. You've convinced me. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for being here, for listening to us. Love spitting X-Files into your ear holes. Mike, if you would like to have the final word.
I don't have much to say other than everything you've come to know is a lie, so don't worry about it. Live your life and enjoy it because the aliens are coming back. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at TINHXFilesPod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.